Okay, today I want to talk about Colin Kaepernick, and I realize it's a lot of news going on with this kid right now, and he's very controversial and all that good stuff. But these are the kind of stories I really love to watch, and the reason I love to watch these kind of stories is because there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of emotion, and there's a lot going on with this whole story, and it's kind of fragile on both sides. And what I'm saying by fragile is with Colin Kaepernick, he's making a stand against brutality in police. And that's been a big issue in the news for a long time. It's been there for a while. In fact, I did a couple videos on it. There's some police shootings out there that are pretty bad, to say the least. The one in Fresno, the one in Winslow, Arizona. Those are horrible. But then again, there's the police that I heard the statistics one time of how many police officers in Chicago actually fired their gun in a year, and it's incredible. I mean, you have 30, 40, 50,000 police officers, and there's like less than 50 of them ever fire their guns. In fact, there's a lot of police officers go their entire career and never fire their guns. So, you know, there's a lot of activity out there that goes on that's pretty benign, but all everybody gets drawn into the ones uh, where people where the cops had body cams or somebody else filmed them, and it's pretty bad. But anyway, the reason I like this Colin Kaepernick story is because he's a kid that's playing quarterback, making some pretty good money, and all he needs to do is keep his mouth shut, put his uniform on, go to practice, do what the coaches tell him to do, and he's going to be have a pretty nice life, a better life than almost everybody else in America. He's got one of the top um, living conditions standards. He's famous. He makes good money. He's probably puts the money away. Probably won't have to do much the rest of his life. But he is doing something controversial. The controversial thing he's doing is he's not standing up at the national anthem, which is interesting to me because he's going up against the NFL. And the NFL is that money making machine that is going to be doing stuff like playing the national. I don't know why they play the national anthem before sporting events. They always have. I don't have a problem with that. I enjoy it. I think in a lot of people it's tradition, but not standing up. I mean, I've got to wonder how the story ever got started because did someone just notice him not standing up, or did he make it public before he decided not to stand up? I mean, is there somebody with binoculars watching every single person? I mean, there's a lot of people in the stands don't stand up. There's a lot of people that have done things with the national anthem before. I mean, Roseanne Barr, she butchered it one time at a baseball game. You know, there's a lot of things goes on with the national anthem. I think it's kind of weird when people think everybody should act a certain way for the national anthem. It's almost like in North Korea where they got to have all this emotion if one of their leaders dies and everybody's got to cry, or in Nazi Germany where everybody had to salute with the Heil Hitler sign. I mean, we don't want to go that direction either. We don't want to go the direction where everybody has to act a certain way because then that is totalitarian, and that's not the way we should have to be. It's almost like it's more of a stigma. You know, if you're not going to stand, it just kind of says that you're just not going to go with the program, and that's kind of what he's doing. He's not going with the program, and but on the flip side of it, you got the NFL, who knows there's a lot of black players in the NFL that probably feel solidarity with this guy. And you know, there's a lot of players probably, even though now that they've got a few dollars behind them, over in the past have been discriminated against or treated poorly by police and stuff like that. So they're really kind of thinking, yeah, I want to do it too. I don't want to stand for the national anthem because I want to show my unity with Colin. So that's about ready to break out. I think we're pretty close. If this kid could withstand the pressure that he's taking right now, I think he's going to get a lot of other people joining with him. And that's the last thing the NFL wants and the police want is for all this to start caving in on him. So they'll probably do something before that to him. I see where they're kind of making some there's a couple articles I read that the 49ers aren't very happy with him and maybe they might trade him or let him go or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know if he's going to withhold the barrage of attacks he's going to get before this actually breaks free. But one of the articles I thought was kind of interesting is that his jerseys, Kaepernick's jersey sales soar amid controversy. Isn't that the typical thing? Doesn't matter if it's good publicity, bad publicity, as long as it's publicity. I mean, he'll be famous for a long time, regardless of what happens with this. I think he's got guts. I think he's really got guts. I mean, I know people hate his guts and people think he's anti-American, and you got a lot of people throwing that stuff around. Look at you wouldn't have a place to play football if it wasn't for people that sacrificed to make it, a free country for you to do that. That's a good argument. But he should also have the right to be able to stand, not and stand if he wants to stand. That's the way it is. I think the biggest uh, um, weird thing or stupid thing I've heard is when the police say, and I think there's one of these police unions actually come out and said that they're not going. They're go right here. Santa Clara Police Union threatened boycott a 49er game. That that's really bad. I mean that's way worse than him not standing. When police say we're not going to go and protect those people at that stadium, none of which probably none of them, are doing anything to cause this. They're just going to the game, and when they go outside of their what they're supposed to do or what their job is because somebody's making a statement, that's really ugly. But I think the police, if I read this right, I think the police chief come back and said that they weren't going to do that. But when police unions start threatening not to have people or let people be safe or be there for people's safety because they don't agree with this guy, that shows you how off these police unions are. So they got some reevaluation to do too. But anyway, this Kaepernick kid's got a pretty. I think he's took on a pretty big challenge here. I kind of have a feeling they're going to break him before everybody caves in and um, start setting during the national anthem, because I think he will get more supporters that are players. Everybody's just kind of sitting there watching, see how what they're going to do to him. And I believe I'm pretty good at my predictions. I predict a lot of stuff, and I think I'm almost perfect on every prediction I've ever made. I think something's going to happen, and something is going to happen. They're either going to this some sort of they're going to break him somehow. I don't know how they're going to break him, but they're going to break him somehow. Either they're going to tell him he cannot do that any longer, but that's a touchy subject because now you're telling people they got to stand when this is really something that you should be standing out of your own personal affection for the country, not because somebody's telling you to stand or not to stand. So that's a pretty touchy subject. I think there's probably going to be something else. I don't think money's the issue because he said he's going to give away $1 million to some of these to help people. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think they're going to let this go on too much longer. Somehow it's going to be. That's why I love these stories. I want to see how this plays out. I got to see how this plays out because this is very, very interesting to me. On one side, you got somebody who doesn't want to stand for the national anthem. On the other side, you got the police and the NFL, and all the money at stake. And then the reputation, and we're not going to let one person change our tradition. We're not going to one person give us a poke in the eye, and so we're going to fix this somehow. So we'll see what the higher powers have to say about this and how they finally um, settle this thing. But I think Kaepernick is in for a little bit of a surprise. But I got to say my hat's off to him. I think the kid's got some guts, and he did stand up and he did make his feelings known. I don't really agree with the pigs on the on his socks. I think that was kind of stupid. But outside of that, I think he's got guts. For him to do this when he could have just gone along with the program, kept his mouth shut, and not said anything. Um, I think he's got guts. What the other problem is you can't let everybody run afoul either. So, if everybody's mad about the police brutality, what's the next thing? Now they're going to be mad about the war and whatever place we get next war we're going to get ourselves into, or we're going to be mad because of this, because of that. So it's going to make it kind of this whole thing. Just either you're going to have the national anthem, have some respect paid to the country, to the veterans, or whatever, or you're just not going to do it all. Because if this starts to become, um, a format for people to raise protest, it's not going to work. So anyway, he's a trendsetter. You got to say that. He's got this. I mean, not that this hasn't been done before. I think it was done in the Olympics a few years ago. Of course, Roseanne Barr made a mockery of the national anthem, and it's been challenged before. You know what? She paid a heavy price for that too. If you go back and watch her videos. So, anyway, I appreciate you listening. I don't know how where people stand in this. I just think it's an interesting story. I don't even know where I stand for sure on it. So, anyway, I appreciate you listening. Thank you.